Hey, Auburn family, this is your host, Jason Campbell, on the Own to Victory podcast with our collective here at Auburn. Guys, we have had some great episodes over the last couple of weeks, and it just keeps getting better and better. It's just like home cooking. You know, the more time you spend in it, the better it tastes. I tell you what, I have a co-host with me today, Mike G, who was on the planes with us as well for 4 years when I was there. And he's going to be bringing it with me today as well. But, guys, we got a host that I don't even want to wait anymore. You know, this guy, I can read so many accolades on him. I played with him. We had a strong brotherhood from 04 and actually met all the way back in 2000. So I don't even want to wait anymore, Mike G. I think we need to go ahead and just bring this guy on in and get him going. What you think?
Now, I think let's get him in here, man. It's not often that you get to talk to an Auburn legend. I mean, listen, you're an Auburn legend as well, too. But, you know, he's coaching on the Plains now, and I'm excited to get the conversation kicked off with Lack today.
All right, let's bring in Cadillac Williams. Lack, what's going on, brother?
Yo, fellas, what's up? How you guys doing, man? Honor to be on. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, we can't complain, man. We just glad you was able to show up, brother.
Yeah, man. Well, we are in spring ball. We are busy, man. We try to win ball games around here. We try to change this thing, man. You know, we are trying to get this thing back to them early 2000 years, man.
There it is. Well, Lack, we know your time is real gracious, man. We understand you got a busy schedule this morning, but you know, just talk about so far what you've seen with the Auburn program since the season ended, and you was able to take over those last 4 games and get this thing going in the right direction. To how do you guys continue to do what you asked them to do? Where you serving it and different things like that as part of being a great teammate?
Well, first of all, honestly, over that 4-week span, which I was honored to get the opportunity to be the interim head coach, man. Just honestly, just felt like that old Auburn spirit was back, and you know. Just the principles of, you know, serving, you know, just on about, you know, taking care of your brother, the family atmosphere, the blue collar mentality. I think those are some of the Auburn roots things that we got back to as a team. And I honestly feel like, you know, whenever you're united and you're going in the same direction, you know, you can move a lot quicker. So with that, with us hiring Coach Freeze, man, how he done just accelerated those things, man. I think Coach Freeze, the environment and that he's creating around here for these student athletes and the culture. For, you know, just the coaches and everybody, man. It starts at the top. It starts with him. And, you know, that's him about capturing the heart of the players. And that's the most important thing. He let us know as a coaching staff that, you know, that we wouldn't be able to do our job if it weren't for these players and the people. So they are important. So to hear a guy speak on that and to say this is where this program is going, we're making it about the players. We are going to serve. We're going to do it the right way. It's going to be about true change. You know, he's a godly man, and he is not shy but behind that. And I love that. And I honestly, man, think the future is bright, man. I'm just very hopeful, encouraged about what we have done in spring, what I done seen with the coaches, the camaraderie between us, which is super important. Man, we all got that servant mentality, man, where we trying to pour into these kids, not only on the field, but also off the field. Mm-hmm. And I think truly when you make it about that, everything else will fall in place. We're going to attract the right people for Auburn University to join this family.
Lack, you talked about that blue collar, bring your lunch pail mentality that you guys are trying to instill in the program. Now, let me tell you what I remember. I remember going down to the intramural fields during two-a-days. We'd line up the D line, the O line. Jason would be there, but you know you can't hit him, so you almost don't count. The running back would be in there, and you guys would just hit until somebody passed out. Like you can't do a lot of things. Two-a-days isn't what it used to be. hours are limited. The game has changed some in terms of what you're allowed to do with kids. How do you instill that same blue collar mentality when you got so many limits on what you can do just based on what you guys were able to do when you were in school and now that you're a coach?
Honestly, I think it started with Coach Dunn, our strength coach. Right now, he is a guy that's going majority of the time going to spend a lot of hours with those kids. So I think with him, whenever you develop, that mentality, that blue collar mentality, will show up each and every day. Relentless. I just think whenever you can exemplify, those things, I think you move the needle on that, and it's a mindset. Coach Freeze talk about it all the time about stacking habits. Like what are your habits? Like, what do we want our DNA, our habits to be in this program? Well, that is coming to show up each and every day. Being grateful, for the opportunity that you do have. And I think a lot of things could start just from that is having a grateful heart, man, where each time you come in this building, man, like, you are fortunate and you are truly blessed. So, it's about you investing in yourself and being the best version of yourself as individual. And then collectively, all us together, man, we can truly move the needle. But I just think that with the hours that done change, where we don't have much time with them, or, where we can't go and pass, you can't do, which is, to me, is good for the game. So I think, honestly, now, the cultural part of it and the team chemistry is super important right now. It's at an all-time high because of so much different avenues that guys can go get things. So I personally think it's at an all-time high for you to be one as a team, and that takes hard work each and every day, and it starts with love, like loving your players.
You're talking about the weight room. Does it shock you how much stronger these guys are at a young age? I mean, they're doing some things in the weight room that are crazy these days, and they've got all these crazy facilities and access to sports nutrition and science that you guys didn't have as well too. So it's producing better athletes at an earlier stage in their career.
Yeah, that might have had abs if he had the nutrition he got nowadays.
No, hey.
If he didn't eat at Sewell Hall, maybe he would have some.
Hey, let me tell you, I say it all the time, man. These kids are coming in looking pro ready. Like, just the way that they can move. Honestly, I know us old time players like to say how tough we were, but man, these guys are bigger, stronger, they're faster, and a lot of times with just the access that they done had, they're a lot more intelligent too. But also with that, they have a lot of options to do a lot of things. So they have so much access on things where at times that can cloud their vision, to be honest with you. But yeah, you hit it right on the nail, man. Like, these guys are coming in and they are ready. But one thing that I'm seeing a lot is the competition part of it. A lot of the guys don't know how to compete because I think, honestly, and I'm not knocking nobody hustle, but I think, honestly, that come a lot with all the personal training. You don't have kids that play 2-3 sports anymore, 4 sports. Right. You don't have kids that's playing outside no more. Like, everybody got a training. It's starting young. Like, they got a training, so they get one-on-one time. So a lot of times when guys come in here and competition starts, they just haven't had enough reps. They've been developed where their mind, their heart has been set on where when things get tough, and I got this guy, competing with me. Like a lot of people just don't know how to handle that. And I think that truly comes with, experience. That comes with going through the fight. That comes with competing on different levels. Whether you're a football player, basketball, baseball, track, whatever, or man, you just want to, beat the next guy. I think that is lacking big time. But I just think the people who can bring that along and find that line where they can discover how to overcome that are the teams that are gonna be built to last.
Real quick, Jason, we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you when you talk about competition about that running back room that you have now. Now you have a very unique experience in that you played with another running back that got drafted in the top 5, right? And you guys both made the decision to come back knowing that you would have to share the ball and share reps. And, Tank is gone, but you got Jarquez in there, who is presumably the lead back. You guys have brought in Batty. You've got Damari, who's been in there, Sean Jackson. How are you talking to these guys about how to be good teammates, but also assuring them that their role will be something that they're going to be happy with this season?
Well, one of the things I first hit on was being a great teammate.
Right.
Whenever I get to recruiting a kid and getting to know a kid, I mean, man, I think that get lost in this day and age of being a great teammate, man, being a great person, being selfless. Because in the room, I like to preach, it's only one ball. And I'm sorry, like I tell my guys, I am fair. I am not here to sell nobody a dream. Like those guys are gonna carve their own road. Like that's why we got spring ball. That's why we're gonna have training camp. That's why they do the off season. Like I can't sit up here and say what these guys' role gonna be. We gonna watch the film and you gonna earn it. And them guys know, man. I am I'm a walking testimony of whenever you have a selfless attitude and you about the team and you about development and you about growth, magic happens. I benefited from a room with the Ronnie Brown, Brandon Jacob, Trey Smith guys in that room, man. That was, we was super competitive. Yeah, we was competing with each other, but at the same time, we wanted to see the next man do just as good. I just wanted to do better. I wanted to compete. I see Ronnie toting that pill. Woo, yes. But hey, I want to. Okay. I want to get on. So I think like whenever we develop that in our room, which we are trending that way. We're not there. We're trending that way, but it's honestly on them. I can't carve out their role, man. You're gonna have to go earn that. So the thing I like to tell my guys, man, earn the right to run the football. And we get to see it every day on film. You are what you are on film, dog. Film don't lie. I don't care if you know this going on back home or that's going on, this going on. Once the eye in the sky cuts on, it's hammer time. It ain't no time about excuses. Like your film is your resume, and that's gonna carve your role.
Your film is your resume. I like
what time your meeting?
Oh, come on, Jason, man. You are a guy that have me going now. So, man.
All right, hey, that's all. We just want to make sure we got you, man. Well, I say this: the hardest thing now that you guys have to deal with too is transfer. You got a lot of guys. Just like Mike was talking about. You got Batty that transferred in from USF, but there's a lot of guys that transferred. Most of our offensive line transferred in. We also got a big receiver. We got defensive linemen, linebackers. How do you get those guys to come in and quickly buy into the culture and to fit into the guys that you already have there?
Well, for one, everything happens so fast. It's our job as coaches to truly do homework on kids. Mm-hmm. I mean, talk to their families, get to know these kids. Ask around about them, and truly get a feel for kids and see what they are about. And then for two, it's like leadership. I think that we all were born to be leaders. I don't think in order to be a good leader, you have to be a follower, of course. But I think that we're all born to be leaders. So I honestly think the more leadership and the more us coaches can exemplify of what we want out of this team and how it look like they need to see us as a staff, the way we around each other, our families around, the way we love on each other, the way we serve each other. Because a lot of times what people don't see is they don't give these kids enough credit. Man, they savvy, they're smart. And people it's like ours. I mean, somebody can talk to you till you're blue in the face, but how a person makes you feel and you watching him do it, it hits home more. So I'm excited about that with Coach Freeze. That's what he exemplified for this staff, this team, the players. That is what he do. He leads by example. No job is too small for Coach Freeze. I mean, he pour into these guys. Like he honestly tell these guys, man, if I'm in a meeting in the game, my guy I'm dropping everything. It's about the players. So I just think whenever you're creating a culture like that, where transparency, people, open, it's development, it's growth. I mean, it's real change. You changing your mind, the way you think. Whenever you creating a culture like that, I think the player will grasp onto that and hold on to it. And now our best recruiters, the kids that we bring on, now our players are there to check these guys. And when they ask questions like, this is how it's done, X, Y, Z, and it will move along faster with our peers, with their peers,
right?
Or their teammates. So I think that in a way with this transfer world that we're in, the culture and environment is at all-time high, man. I truly believe that. And you have to stand on something. And I just, I'm just honored to get this opportunity to be in this position, to be in this new wave and see if we can figure this thing out and see what's the best way to go about, this new way with the transfer. All that stuff.
Like give the people the scoop. Who's your culture ambassador, right? You talk about if a kid comes into the program, who is your, this is the way we do it. This is Auburn football. This is how it's done. Get in line or go to the back.
I think I know who it is.
Honestly, I mean, first of all, one of my spiritual guys that I truly lean on is Mayo Sowell, who does a great job with Live Atlanta, Auburn guy. But also even bigger than that, honestly, I lean on a lot of I was in this culture. Like Jason, we won with doing it the right way. Like we built something, man. It wasn't pretty early on. We were 8-5, 9-4 thing but man, that doggone tenacity, that doggone love for each other, that playing for Auburn, that blue collar worker mentality, that selflessness, like that showing up each and every day, like those things work. And I don't care of all the new technology and everything that's going in and all this, mental, this mental, in all like this. I just not the, dim that light, but I know those things work. Like they work. I am a believer.
But which player is your culture ambassador though? Like who's the guy on the team that when other guys come in that are transfers, who do people look to from a player standpoint as a culture leader in the locker room right now?
Well, I think we got a couple guys that I would like to say. I mean, from guys Jarquez Hunter, Luke
That's what I'm
Dillon.
about to say. Yeah.
I mean, God, dog it. You know, I don't want to leave. The Mari is one of those guys is always in and out. You got you have multiple guys that honestly kind of exemplify those things of what we want out of Auburn, man. But just to name a few out, I'm sure it's more guys there, but those are the guys, man, that you bring around. You bring kids in, and those are guys you want around to show them, close them off in the room, and say, hey, fire away with them. Y'all go spend time and be honest with them, be transparent, and it ain't script. Right. It ain't somewhere I'm telling my players, hey, say X, Y, Z. I don't give them no information. Hey, y'all go talk. I'm out. Y'all have fun, and let your players be your ambassadors.
Yeah, that's pretty much that's the best way for it to go. That's how it was when we was there. Guys come in and recruiting visits. The players are the one that sell the program. I always have this saying here as well. Are you doing things for a result, or are you doing things because it's the right thing to do? Right. I think once you can put your mindset to that I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do, then the result gonna always take care of itself. I just think from that standpoint. But before we let you get out of here, the world has changed. College football has changed. College basketball, everything when it comes to student athletes now, some of this stuff revolves around NIL. And, right now our subscribers are on here listening and everything and paying attention. And I'm pretty sure they're excited about everything you have to say. How have you seen NIL change the format of, of student athletes?
Well, first of all, what a blessing it is, for these student athletes to capitalize and earn whatever they earn, and what a blessing it is for the subscribers, the Auburn people, to be able to pour into these guys' life, whether it's financially, whether it's time, whatever it is. So that in itself is a blessing, and something I don't ever want to take for lightly, because it truly it's truly changing lives and giving guys hope with things. Now, I think it's our job as coaches, as mentors, as whatever, to educate guys about this process too, because you know how it is, Jason. Been in the locker rooms where if you get grown men money, it's money is it's like money is not the rule. It's the love of money. So to me, it's about educating guys and putting people on game, man. And main thing is keeping the main thing. The main thing is it's nothing important more. It's nothing important than your character, man. Like, your character will carry you much farther than any money somebody can give you, any accolades, anything that you do. Like, so making sure that to see it, it's a freaking blessing for you to be in this position, and be grateful, and don't get off track where now you are letting these things control who you are, because you're getting a lot or you not getting as less. Like, man, the comparison is the thief of joy, man. And I think that is what we got a lot going on, and a lot of that is driven from parents, from families, their loved ones. So it's a lot within this thing. Like, the layers are big. So for us to just point the fingers at kids that they hungry, boom, 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 you have to understand that they got family, and they are kids, and they got people that pushing them in certain way. That's why the relationship part of it is at an all-time high.
Right.
You know, the people that develop the relationship with kids and truly want to get to know these kids and truly want to help them. These are the ones in this time of what's going on. Those are the people that's going to excel through this next phase of this college football. I truly feel that way.
Lack, NIL has brought pro problems to college football, and again, you have the unique position of having been in a place where you went to the league. They provide resources for you guys when you get to the league, right? There's a rookie symposium. They talk to you guys about like finances, and you suddenly come into a lot of money, and which provides opportunities to do things you would not normally do, and those things can become distractions to what you're trying to accomplish as a team on the field. Is there any story that you went through as a rookie transitioning from college to the NFL that you share with these guys about, not letting money become a distraction to your ultimate goal, which should be to be the best football player you can be?
Oh yeah, all the time. Like I tell my guys this story of how the good Lord put things in perspective with me with money. Is I can remember getting drafted 2005 April 23rd, something like that. I believe still remember those dates. But I mean, instantly, like my whole why was for me to not just be rich or drive fancy car, but my why was to take care of my mom who worked 3-4 jobs, who's a single parent raising 6 kids. So that was my why. So imagine as a kid, you go your whole life, this is what you want to do, and boom, you accomplish that. Then the very next day, you have seen your mother work all her life, never been to the doctor. Then she have a massive heart attack the very next day. So now, here I am done accomplish like what I want to do that have driven me for years. And boom, now a circumstance happens where my money, my resource, I had to lean on God, to lean on doctors. Like, holy crap. My money, who I am or what I done did, my draft status, that can't change anything right now. Right. So that early on put things in such a perspective for me where I'm like, wow, like you better enjoy people, man. Like you better serve, like you better be in a relation. You better get to know people. You better treat people right, because life hits you with all different things, and storms do not discriminate. Right. So that early on just put me on a mindset where it honestly just have never been about. I have never got overwhelmed by money, the material. It's morally as a person, how are you serving? Because ultimately we was all put on this earth to spread, the gospel and bring the kingdom here. So it's like, to me, how are you serving? And our greatest example, not to go there, is Jesus Christ. Like he did not come here to sit on the throne when he was on earth. What did he do? He served people. So I just feel like if we have that mentality with these guys and it's about the next person, imagine, man, we're all in line. We're all taken care of because we got people that serve and eat each other. And I think that's how I don't even know where I'm going with all that.
Oh, that's good. That's good, man.
But again, I just think that that's to your question. That's some of the things that I share with my player. That's real life stuff, man. It's not stuff that I'm reading in a book. Right. And look, I love to read. I love to do this. Like this is real life stuff that I have lived, and I'm a walking testimony to a lot of these guys. Where, man, if you would endure and you would keep your faith in God, man, and you would keep your eye on the prize of His kingdom and continue to serve, man. I mean, success and failure is very predictable, man. Very predictable. And it starts with your habits. Everything starts with your habits.
I like that message. To sum it up, I mean, money is fleeting, right? Money is fleeting. Focus on the things that matter, and then let money take care of itself. Right.
All right. And that's like you said, just do the right thing. The results will follow. And that's it. And that's what I try to tell young guys when I go and talk to them and everything, man. It's just, a lot of, you can get distracted by a lot of things, and your distractions of what you allow to distract you can either hinder you or grow you. So we're going to let Lack get out of here. And I like to say to our subscribers, you got a treat today. You heard it from our assistant head coach and associate head coach, however they want to call it, name it. Lack's a great ambassador for Auburn University. And, what a great person, to have on our staff that had, gone through a lot, lived it, able to tell these young guys and be able to pour back into them. So, Lack, we're going to let you go ahead, get on with your day. Hope we ain't hold you from 2-minute meetings. Hope Coach Freeze, tell him to send us the fine. We got it.
Thank you for your time. Hey, look, man, I am trying to stay employed, man. So you need me. Hey, man. Nah, but look, guys, it have been fun, man. I truly appreciate what you all do, getting the, message out, just, man, serving, shining light on people. And, thanks to all our subscribers that actually help with our student athletes. I promise you, it goes a long way. I just seen it's truly helping kids in a way. And I know a lot of times we hear about all the bad that's going on, man, but it is helping kids. So again, appreciate you all. It was an honor to be on you guys' show.
Yeah, and, give us a quick sound bite before you get out of here. You got one race. Who's faster, you or Ronnie?
Well, Ronnie would probably run a faster 40 times.
Okay.
If we on the clock, boom, boom, boom. But I always tell that cat this. Now I'm gonna live to. I'm gonna believe it to the day I die. He know it. If you line me and him up side by side, he can't beat me.
Oh, okay, all right. I like that.
Beat me. He can't. Now he probably gonna run the faster 40 times if you clock, but he lied me. If you put him beside me,
we'll never know now because both of them will pull a hamstring if they try it. So.
Exactly. All right, guys.
All right, then, bro. Appreciate it.
All right,
War Eagle, this is John Cohen, and I fully endorse On to Victory and its mission to support our student athletes. Let's all do our part and join On to Victory today. War Eagle.
All right, everyone. You just heard from Coach Cadillac Williams. Like I said, what a great show. What an episode, Mike. This guy, you can still see how he played. He played with so much passion that he even brought that same passion to the show this morning. So, that was exciting to hear. And subscribers, you're in for another treat. We have another coach that played the game that they're coaching, was outstanding at what they did. I have it written down right here that she played at Kentucky and Georgia Tech. But the main thing about her is she was ranked with 5 different doubles partners throughout her college career. She left Georgia Tech as the second most doubles winning percentage at 69%. So she's a great talent. And these girls that she's coaching now for our women's tennis, they don't understand the treat that they have. And she came in during a tough time, which I'm going to ask her about. She got hired in 2019. So the first season you really under is COVID. Yeah, and everything. So, and she was able to get us through a great year with that. So, I don't even want to wait anymore. Everybody, I'm tired of giving away the hint. Let's bring in, our women's tennis head coach, Coach Caroline Lilley. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Hey, Coach.
Guys, thanks so much for having me. Excited to be on the show.
Oh, we appreciate your time and everything. And like I say, as I was mentioning before, you was a player and, played at a very high level. And, and then when you become a coach, then there's the coaching aspect of it. Talk about the nerves being a player compared to the nerves being a coach.
So different. Sometimes I just want to take the racket. Just give me the racket. I really want to hit. But yeah, I mean, it's different, but it's exciting. I think I tell the girls when you play, you're seeing snapshots because it's just your match that you're watching. I'm seeing a video because I'm watching 6 girls play at the same time. And so I think it's a lot different, but it's exciting. I think your playing career and your ability to relate to your student athletes makes it a lot easier. You understand pressure, you understand expectation, you understand what comes with the privilege of having a target on your back. That's a lot different. And I think when you have that playing experience and you can lean on that playing experience, you can relate to your young people a lot better.
Coach Lilley, talk about the growth of the game of tennis, right? Obviously at Auburn, football and basketball get a lot of attention, but the Olympic sports have started to surge in the last few years. Talk about the growth of the game of tennis and how you are helping grow the game as a coach at Auburn University.
Yeah, Coach Pearl does an incredible job. I mean, he calls Auburn the everything school. And I think he's really right. And he's really set a tone here, as well as all the other coaches here. Butch has done a great job. Karen Hopwood soccer, Melissa Llewellyn. I mean, you look across the board, there's coaches that have done incredible things at Auburn. And that's what makes Auburn so special. You know, I'm surrounded by great coaches, and my athletes are surrounded by tremendous student athletes. And when that bar is set high, your players rise to that high expectation that you have for them. And so I think across the board, there's no better place to be than Auburn. I mean, when you look at the success of every single sport, Greg Williams' equestrian team is the best in the country. Every single year, he's established himself as one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in his sport. And so I'm being fed so much good information. I'm growing as a coach, which makes me a better servant for my student athletes. Here at Auburn, I invested in a team that certainly had some success, but needed some rebuilding. And so it was exciting. I got to invest in young people who I recruited. I got to invest in young people who other people recruited, and balancing that and navigating that landscape was certainly a challenge, but I'm really grateful for the young people I get to coach. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to serve a university like Auburn. There's nowhere better. And I think when you look at the success of this athletic department, the people are what make this athletic department so special, and the people are what make Auburn so special. And so as we continue to grow tennis, we continue to grow our brand, we're certainly here to win championships. I believe it can be done, and I believe it will be done. And I feel like we're on the right track to get that done.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of tennis, Coach. I've always, growing up, seen tennis on TV, especially like Wimbledon, and then the Open up in New York. And I've always wanted to experience. I had the opportunity to meet Serena in person when I was playing in Washington.
Lucky guy.
Yeah, she was dating LeVar Ayrton at the time, and I got a chance to go watch one of her matches that they had in DC. And afterwards, I got a chance to go to their trailer, because they had a trailer, and I go in there, and I'm sitting down. I'm like, man, I'm talking to Serena, and everything, and that was so cool and everything. But talk about, being a player and you're still a fan of the game as well. What's your favorite matches to watch when you look at the pro level?
I think Ashley Barty and Serena were probably my two favorite. Both are now retired, so it's a little tough. But I think when I watch professional tennis, I love to see how they act, how composed they are. How do they change momentum with their investment, with their emotions? How do they change momentum with using rituals? How do they handle pressure? When you look at the best in the world, they play their best when they need it the most. What does that look like? How do they behave? How do they handle losses? How do they handle wins? I love to watch press conferences. Maybe I'm one of the only person that does that, but I feel like I learn a lot through watching how they handle themselves with the press. It's certainly a privilege to be talking to the press, to have that type of have earned that opportunity. And so I love watching tennis. I'm a tennis nerd. Both my assistant and I watch a ton of tennis. And we're excited about the opportunity to grow the game of tennis. But when you look at someone like Serena, when you look at Ashley Barty, when you look at Iga Swiatek and Sabalenka and some of these other players who are doing tremendous things now, there's a composure, there's a poise, there's an athleticism, there's a resilience, there's a toughness. And when you watch them, you learn, but you also come to really respect their greatness and respect how they go about their daily lives in order to continue to grow that greatness and grow that brand.
Coach Lilley, talk about conditioning for a second in tennis. A lot of people don't understand how many miles the average tennis player actually runs during a match because of, the short distance between the lines on the court. How has conditioning even changed in tennis, and what kind of things are you guys doing with athletes these days to make sure they're in tip-top condition to compete at a high level?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we kind of get that reputation of being a country club sport. Yep. And then you go and try to play tennis and you're like, what? What is this? But it's physical. I mean, we have to deal with conditions. I think that's a huge piece. any sport that's playing outside, where it's hot. I mean, tennis chases the weather all year long and chases the warm weather all year long. There's no clock, there's no subs, and there's no timeouts. So you really don't get a breather. And so I think that conditioning piece allows careers to be longer, and the conditioning piece is more key than it's ever been. We are very privileged. I mean, we work with Joe D'Amato here at Auburn. He's a sports scientist. He's a doctor. And so he does everything for us. He uses Catapult, Elite Form Training, all these different technologies that really separate us from other programs. We track how quickly our girls are moving, how quickly they're covering ground, how quickly they're changing direction, the force they're creating, how they're absorbing that force, the distance they're covering. We track it all in practice. We track it during matches. So we can really gauge the physical output. But conditioning in our sport, movement in our sport, strength in our sport, cardiovascular strength in our sport is incredibly important. I mean, it is a physical game. And when you look at the athletes that succeed at the highest level, I mean, you put them on any field, court, surface, whatever it may be, they definitely are very well conditioned and they're very strong. They might be lean, but they're very strong.
I say this, you do look at tennis players, they are lean, they are very lean. So when you talk about that, like Mike G was saying, what about nutrition? Like, how much food can you consume? Like, what does your diet look like to be a tennis player? Because I've seen matches this summer that went 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, geez, like, and you're swinging that club the entire time. And sometimes you're hitting over 100 miles per hour. Sometimes you're hitting it 70 and 80. It doesn't matter. It's still at a high speed. So how do you get your body to have the nutrients to be able to sustain long matches that sometimes you don't prepare, you don't know about? They just happen.
And you can't control the conditions. So sometimes you'll play 4 hours and it's 100 degrees. You're on a concrete surface to make it 110 because it's just baking in the sun. It's humid, it's hot. So nutrition's key. I mean, you have to eat during your match. So how you fuel yourself during your match, how you fuel yourself before your match, how you hydrate, sweat testing, understand what you're losing every single time you're sweating, what nutrients, what minerals, what vitamins you need to be replacing, and how you hydrate is key. And a lot of that's just trial and error. Like, what can I eat during a match? What am I comfortable eating during a match? Sustain long-term energy. So you don't want those simple sugars. Those simple sugars are going to cause you to be on that roller coaster ride. So you're going to use a lot more sustained starch supplements, anything that's going to last a long period of time. The leanness of tennis players is because we're pounding on a hard surface. So there's no give on a hard court. So our ability to be able to change direction is important, but also we have to be at a playing weight that allows us to be at our best. And we have to be at a playing weight that keeps us healthy. Because if you pound and pound and pound and you're carrying extra weight, then you're going to have some of those stress injuries that you want to try to avoid. And so a lot of body weight strength, and you'd be surprised. I mean, a lot of them are lean, but they're stronger than you think, especially legs down. Upper body might be a little bit leaner. All of our power, all of that power you're talking about when you're serving 140 miles an hour, when you're returning, when you're swinging the racket, all of that power comes from the legs and the core. So you're going to see some strong legs, strong core, and usually a pretty lean upper body. That's just really the release of all of our swings.
The nutrition aspect of it, is that something that you talk about during the recruiting process? Like, if you come to Auburn, not only are we going to have top tier facilities, but we're going to have a plan for you from a nutrition standpoint to be the best athlete. I've heard stories, back when Jason was playing, sports nutrition wasn't what it is today. And now athletes are using nutrition to gain an edge on other athletes who are maybe just relying on their pure, physical ability and talent. But, is that something you talk about? And what does that program look like for your current tennis athletes?
Yeah, two things that have really changed. I think college athletics in general, our sports science, being able to use technology to gauge recovery, to gauge improvement, to gauge weaknesses that could lead to potential injuries. And then, like you're saying, nutrition. And so to have that resource here at Auburn, to have trained dietitians and trained nutritionists who are not just providing what our student athletes need, but they're educating them. They're sharing with them so they can understand how do I need to fuel? What does my fueling plan look like? Do I need to lean out? Do I need to gain weight? Am I looking to get stronger? Where am I in my periodization of my training? And how do I need to fuel in order to consume what my body needs to optimize my performance? Those 1% improvements, we talk about that all the time with our team. Where can you gain that 1% edge? those 1% improvements, those little details in the areas that other teams may not be as professional or other student athletes may not be as professional, they make a massive difference. And so again, to have those resources, to have sports science, to have nutrition, to have people investing in our young women to make sure that they become the best athlete, the healthiest athlete, the most well-rounded athlete, the best educated athlete is absolutely essential. And so I'm so privileged to work at a university that has the resources that we do, that invest in young people the way that we do. And I just, there's nowhere better in regards to those details that make all the difference.
Have you talked to athletic director John Cohen about anything that's on your wish list in terms of give me this one thing and we'll catch everybody, we'll lap the field?
Yeah, I think with John, what I appreciate most is he comes out all the time. So he knows. I mean, like, he's aware. He comes to our facility. He comes to every single match. I mean, he's so invested in our program. He's incredibly accessible. He's incredibly reliable. And I really, truly believe in his vision for Auburn tennis, but more importantly for Auburn athletics, And so I've definitely had conversations with him about, hey, this is how I think our program can be supported. These are the tournaments we want to play. These are the avenues that I think we can really grow. And being a top 10 team and establishing ourselves as a top 10 team in the country, he has certainly expressed nothing but gratitude and nothing but support from our program. And so he has a great vision for the department. We're excited about that vision. We're excited about his leadership. I think all the sports are going to do an incredible job under him, and he cares. Men's basketball, women's basketball. It doesn't matter if it's tennis. It doesn't matter if it's equestrian. Every sport here is going to be successful at the highest level under his tutelage.
Yeah, I think a lot of that too, because he was a player as well. People realize he played baseball in college and everything. So, talking about, team aspect of it, back in 2019, you was hired, and 2020 had a COVID year. I know it's a tough year for everybody to have to get through, and then trying to get acclimated here. But you did a great job. In 2021, you led the team to the NCAA tournament, all the way to the second round. And you have been building this program ever since. Like, talk about some of the things to our subscribers that you like from your team, and how far y'all have come since then.
Yeah, I inherited a team that had a lot of talent. They needed a little bit of love. I think Coach Williams spoke about that a lot with the football team this year, is like, give them a little love and they're going to perform and fight at an incredibly high level. And when I got here, that's what the team needed. They needed someone who's available. They need someone to invest in them. They need someone to believe in them. And they had the skill. And so since then, recruiting has really picked up. We found people that fit our mold. We're a developmental program. That's why Megan and I do what we do. That's why we're passionate about what we do. We make players better. We want to make players better. We want that blue collar mentality of, I come to Auburn to work, and I come to Auburn because the relationship with the coaching staff is better than any relationship I have with any other coaching staff. And I think that really is the crux of all that we do. You can push your kids really hard if you love them really well. But if you don't love them well, you cannot expect a lot of them. If you're not more invested than your team, then your team should not be invested, because you're not putting in the work. You're not setting a standard. You're not being a good mentor or a role model. And so I think the growth of the program, the trajectory of the team is really a testament to them, to their investment, to them buying into this future of Auburn tennis to a championship level caliber, but also a testament to the giants that have come before them. The people that have paved the way, the people that have shown that here at Auburn, like, we can win in every sport, and we can certainly be the best in the SEC. And if we're the best in the SEC, we're the best in the country in women's tennis. And I think that growth is a testament to the investment from the young ladies on our team and the investment of our staff. I think you'd be hard pressed to find a staff that cares more, or hard pressed to find a staff that works harder, or hard pressed to find a staff that's going to be better in a developmental regard than any staff in the country.
Well, Coach Lilley, keeping with the theme of growth, right? Tennis has an international flavor to it. Mm-hmm. And when you talk about recruiting, it's not just about the kids you have in the backyard, but it's about kids that you're maybe even trying to track from overseas. Can you talk about, having an international aspect to your recruiting process, in the game of tennis?
Yeah, when you watch tennis on TV, it's people from all over the world. And it's so neat. We have a young woman who joined us in January, Angela Okotoyi. She's the first Grand Slam champion from the country of Kenya. She's Kenyan. Her background compared to some of our other athletes looks completely different. Her understanding of what it takes to be successful, what it looks like. To have a team from all over the world is such a benefit to the Auburn community, and also just a benefit to the young ladies on our team. Culturally different. They have different upbringings. They understand the game differently. They've been exposed to international tournaments. They've been exposed to domestic tournaments, whatever it may be. And so being such an international sport, being having such an international flavor, I see as such a benefit. It's different. It's certainly different than a lot of sports, but also we're excited about the opportunity to recruit internationally. It's something that I've done my whole career and something that I will continue to do. With that being said, I love recruiting American, and I will continue to recruit American. If you look at the players I've signed recently, most have been American, with the occasional international player like an Angie or someone like that who's exceptional. And we're really excited to have, but there's always going to be a balance. We're always going to recruit American. We're always going to recruit internationally, and we're going to put together the best possible team to be the best that we can be on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, I'm just going to say this real quick, Mike, and then I'll let you get your question in, because you talked about the international aspect of it. And to me, pickleball, I see so many people playing pickleball now. How has pickleball helped the game of tennis? Or people getting because tennis is longer, it's a wider court, but pickleball, everything's tighter. But now people are playing pickleball and they like, hey, I can play pickleball. Now I want to expand and go try tennis. So how has that changed the game of tennis here recently?
I think what's really neat with pickleball too is it's brought in a lot of professional athletes, like from different areas, like Tom Brady's investing in a pickleball team. And so you have some of these really high profile people bringing attention to tennis, bringing attention to pickleball, bringing attention to racket sports. I think that pickleball, my mom was just at Indian Wells, which is a tier 1 event, basically right below Wimbledon, right below the Grand Slams. It's one of the biggest tournaments in the world that usually people call it the 5th Grand Slam. She said it's never been as crowded. And that's a huge pickleball community in Palm Springs, huge. But that's growing the interest in tennis, growing the interest in the game, growing the interest in going out and watching these exceptional athletes perform. And so whenever you have a sport that's similar, it attracts attention, and maybe they don't go out and play tennis as much as they play pickleball, but they watch tennis. They like to watch tennis. Now they have an interest in tennis. And so that only helps. And I think that the piece that's really exciting is you have all these other athletes who are like, man, this is fun. This is cool. Let's do this. And that really, really raises the profile of our sport and helps just garner interest, which is always important.
Kind of switching gears here to the NIL aspect of tennis. We talked about the international players that you guys, try to attract from time to time, but the Olympic sports have the challenge that a lot of your best players, in tennis go pro before they even get a chance to go to college. And now there's NIL. So there's an opportunity that if you are one of those people, you can, you don't have to forego a bunch of money and you can still enjoy your college experience. Can you talk about what it's like now with NIL and how you guys are utilizing that to attract top prospects that might otherwise just go straight to playing professional tennis?
Yeah, of course. I guess you could equate it to something like Sanessa Lee, who probably would never have had the opportunity to be a collegiate gymnast had it not been for NIL. With her accolades and everything that she had accomplished, there's no way that this would have even been possible for Auburn to be able to have someone like that on their team. There's currently a current student athlete for women's tennis. She's playing at NC State, who's top 100 in the world. She made second round of the Australian Open, and now she's coming and playing her college matches. And so you're starting to see that landscape change a lot. You're starting to see young people realize like, hey, I can continue to receive the benefits that I received at home for my name, image, and likeness. I can be making money. I get my cost of attendance, and I can play professional events, and I can get a college degree. And so I think that has really increased our opportunity to recruit student athletes, like you said, who may have gone straight to professional tennis, but now realize coming to school for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years is not only going to benefit their growth, but it also can benefit their pocketbook. And so that balance is a lot different. It used to be, hey, when you come to college, you're not playing pro tournaments, you can't take any money, you can't do any of those things. Now that some of that legislation has changed and that legislation has opened up, it's really opened up the opportunity to recruit players, like you said, who wouldn't have considered college tennis before. And I think this young woman this year, who's top 100 WTA, who's playing all of the main draw Grand Slams, she's a great example of that. And that will only continue to happen as players, one, respect the game of college tennis because it's an exceptionally high level, but two, realize that they can benefit from an economic perspective as well.
Coach, give us some tea here real quick. Is there a current recruit that Auburn Tennis has their eye on that you guys are looking at that you feel like you may have a chance to get into the program because of NIL?
So we're recruiting for 2020, one more spot for 2024 and already to our 2025 class.
Wow.
And so one thing I think in the NIL space is there's so much uncertainty, like what does it look like for an international student who has all these issues with visas, or they're on a student visa and they can't receive additional funds, whatever it may be. And so federal rules govern a lot of that. I'd say right now, our young people are just continuing to improve their WTA ranking. They're both top 50 in the world. I mean, they've done tremendous things at the junior level, and they're excited about the opportunity. But really, what brings them here to Auburn are the people. The people are key. The opportunity to play for a developmental staff, and just the opportunity to get better. And if they continue to get better and they continue to put themselves on that international stage, those NIL opportunities will continue to present themselves to them. And I know it plays a huge role in their ability to play the schedule that they want as well. I mean, when you're able to benefit from an NIL perspective, you can then supplement all the things you do from a college perspective and go play all your pro events all summer and have this additional income to play the schedule that you want to play, even if it doesn't fit into your college schedule.
Yeah. And I'll say too, what attracts people to Auburn is the fact that you play in a conference that's very challenging, that's going to prepare you for a professional. And like I said, when it comes to NIL, the thing about it is you can't do anything with NIL until they become a student athlete at your university. But what sells that is they can look at all the other student athletes that are here that they're under our NIL program and see the success that they're having through our collective. And that would attract them too. They'd be like, okay, I come to Auburn, I know that I'm taken care of because I see what they do with their student athletes that's already on campus. And that's the hardest thing about it is, first, I always tell these kids, anytime, a parent or someone asks me if I'm out somewhere or something about, how do I talk to my kid about NIL? I say, first of all, you need to teach them to follow their heart. Don't worry about that aspect. That take care of itself once you get to where you're going. I say, but don't miss the opportunity to follow where you feel like you fit into the program, or you feel like you can grow. How can I grow from a freshman to a senior? How are my opportunities in front of me? And I say those things because that's what's the most important. And is relationships and being able to build off each other and grow. And like I was just telling Lat before, I've always, I hear things before and things said like, don't do things because you're trying to get a result. Do them because it's the right thing to do. And then the results will follow. So I commend you, Coach, for everything that you're doing in your program. And before we let you get out of here, right now you're 14-5. And season is already underway. And talk about what you like so far and what you're looking forward to as the season continues.
Yeah, we have a young team. I mean, I think we've peaked at 5 in the country this year. We've been top 10 for almost the entire spring. And we have 3 freshmen in our top 6. Wow. So there's times where they play like freshmen and there's times they play like seniors, and that we're really excited about the future of our program. Our best player for the last 3 years is out this year with an injury. So we're playing down a player. But our young ones, our experienced ones have really stepped up into some big roles. To know that the core that we have coming back next year is going to be with us for multiple years, to know that we have 3 exceptional freshmen that work really hard. I mean, all of our players now have professional aspirations. That's not how it was when I got here. That's what makes it exciting about moving forward. That's where that NIL landscape really opens for them as they build their brand here at Auburn, and they have the support that they have here at Auburn. We're just excited. I mean, again, we're young, so there's moments where my assistant and I are like, yeah, we played young today, But there's also times where we really embrace the opportunity to have a young team because they're excited about new adventures and new experiences. And so we definitely believe the best is ahead of us. We know the best is ahead of us. With 2 top 5 wins on the year, we know that those wins are going to continue to come. But like you said, they're a byproduct of the work. Like you put on the work, you believe in the process, the confidence is built on the practice court, and that confidence will always be there before the results come. And so excited about our young team, excited about the opportunity to continue to progress through our season and know that certainly our best tennis is ahead of us.
All right. Well, Coach, we appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on. And like I say, any kid that comes to Auburn and play tennis underneath you, they're not just getting an experience on the tennis court, but experience in life and someone that's played it and love it. And when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like a job. And I know you feel great about that, and excited to have you here as our women's tennis head coach. So thank you, Coach, for all you do. Subscribers, continue to support and continue to go out and support our team as they continue this season.
Yeah, thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
Hey,
you're welcome. Appreciate
Coach Lilley, one quick off the record question.
I'm ready.
Conference expansion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with Texas and Oklahoma joining the conference in a couple of years, a lot of the discussion with the Olympic sports is about traveling to Texas and traveling to Oklahoma, and maybe that opening up the recruiting landscape even a little bit more. Have you discussed with your staff about conference expansion and what you might need, because you're going to have 2 more schools you have to compete with in conference in terms of recruiting and athletes?
Yeah, so if you go off the rankings last year, Texas was 1 and Oklahoma was 2.
Yeah.
And so this year, a little bit different. Both those teams are rebuilding a little bit. But we have the best conference in the country. Without a doubt. I mean, women's tennis in the SEC is by far the best. And now we're adding 2 more top 5 programs, 2 more teams that are exceptionally good. So from a recruiting landscape for us, it's just, hey, do you want to be the best? Because you get to play the best. You're going to play the best every single day. And with our track record, it's not just play the best, it's beat the best. You know, it's have opportunities to compete against the best players in the country and beat the best players in the country. I mean, our number 4 singles player this year played the number 5 player in the country and won, you know, and that doesn't really happen. You know, your lower lineup kids don't always earn those opportunities. And so I think adding that level of competition and adding additional teams that add tremendous value in our sport just increases that notoriety. It increases that SEC brand. And when you look at the other conferences, they just don't compare. And so when you think about playing professional tennis, you think about playing in the SEC, because every single day you're going to be playing at an exceptional level. And so that really helps our recruiting. That helps our international recruiting. That helps our domestic recruiting. But yeah, you have the best conference in the country, and you want to come and win that conference and have the opportunity to play against the best. And there's no better place to be.
Thank you for that.
All right. Appreciate it, Coach. Have a good one.
War Eagle, guys. Have a good one.
All right, War Eagle.
War Eagle, everyone. College athletics is changing, and the Auburn family will respond. On to Victory is the NIL collective of the Auburn Tigers, and they're leading the way. I encourage everyone to go to ontovictory.com. Hey, Auburn family, let's continue to make a tremendous difference in the lives of these student athletes. War Eagle. War Eagle.
Like I said before, Luke Deal is our last guy to come on today. What a great treat. Auburn fans, you're going to hear from one of our leaders on the football team and what to expect from the 2023 season. I'm excited. I'm excited for him as well, because the opportunities he's going to have more of in this offense. And, you know, let's not even wait any longer. Let's go ahead and bring in our guy, Luke Deal.
Hey, Luke, how's it going?
Good. How you guys doing?
Oh, great.
Doing pretty good, Luke. You know, we can't complain, man. We're just glad to have your presence today, man. You're one of the, Auburn guys on the team that people look up to, one of our great leaders, and man, we're just excited to hear from you, and especially our subscribers. They want to know a little bit more about you. And at the end, I'm gonna give you 5 rapid fire questions that you answer really quick, but that's at the end. But right now, we're gonna go ahead and dive in. Luke, talk about, man, the spring ball. The spring came on early for you guys this year. February 28th, y'all started. I think that's the earliest spring I've ever known, but it was already preset before coach was even hired. But talk about the benefits of starting the early spring, and where do you see you guys at right now in spring ball?
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely the earliest one I've been a part of as well. Had a lot of change since I've been here. So I've gotten to see different ways in which people go about things. And I personally really liked how we started spring, started it early. It just gives you a little bit of a sense of urgency coming off of winter workouts, not just prolonging that for so long, and just hitting the ground running, kind of feeling like you have that competitive edge over people, getting things done before. That's just a way that I think of it. I think we're doing really well. I think that everybody is got great energy. We're handling the change really well. People are getting closer in relationship with coaches and with new players, new transfers, guys that we brought in. And I think that was really important, especially with a fast spring coming in, just getting to know everybody, getting to know how people operate, and just kind of how we're going to move forward going into fall camp and into the season.
Luke, talk about the new coaching staff. Now, you guys have a brand new coaching staff. How is this spring different from what you guys did last spring, and how's the process different this year under Hugh Freeze versus the last coach?
Yeah, I think Coach Freeze and his staff, we're really big on just going out there, being fast, and having a lot of energy. And I think that's been something that's been a big deal for our team, and definitely for the tight ends. I think we've gone out and we've had energy each and every day. Been excited, been blessed to go out there and just having that mindset of we get to instead of we have to. That's probably the biggest thing that we've been really preaching this entire spring, and something that I've taken out of it. So just changing the mindset, just that we are blessed to come out here and do what we do for the people that we do it for, and for the university we do it for. And that was probably the biggest thing, biggest adjustment. Like I said, I've had a couple different styles, couple different offenses, couple different position coaches. So I've kind of been able to get used to change a little bit. But that's one thing that helps with it, just coming out with energy and with a good attitude.
You guys have added a few guys to that tight end room. Give me some tea here, Luke. Who's the fastest guy in the tight end room these days? John Samuel is gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
And who's the slowest? Tell me who the slowest is too.
Oh, I'll go ahead and tell you I'm the slowest, but that's okay. We can't all be four or five guys, not like John Samuel and some of those guys, but the fastest is in my opinion, is still T. Fromm. T. Fromm, if he gets out and starts running, that hair stops flopping in the wind and everything. And he's pretty fast. So we got some good talent in there, some experienced guys who have grown since their first day on campus. And it's been a privilege to kind of watch those guys grow too and mature in that room. So I'm excited about it, man. We got a good room.
Well, look, you sound like you the old mentor guy in that room. You sound like the veteran. And, a lot of people don't notice that you're married as well. And
I am.
I have something to pick with you real quick.
Okay.
So you're born on Valentine's Day, correct?
I sure was.
So do you celebrate Valentine's or you celebrate your birthday? Which one gets pushed?
Oh, absolutely. Valentine's. No, I'm just playing. I'm not going to say that, but I do give Ansley, my wife, a hard time because I tell her that I'm the only person that has to buy someone else a gift on their birthday.
Yeah.
So, but no, she does a good job. She gets really excited about birthdays, and she spoils me for sure. So definitely, she treats me right.
Yeah. Well, I say this too, though. That was just fun. I just wanted subscribers to know that a little bit about you, but I don't think a lot of people know that. It's only two people I know that's born on Valentine's Day, you and another person I grew up with in my neighborhood. Talk about this offense, though. Transitioning here. This is a fun offense. Let's just be honest. It gives everybody an opportunity to touch the football. Everyone's involved, and the last probably 4 to 7 years, Auburn hadn't utilized their tight ends as much as we feel like they should have. And now you're going to have that opportunity to be involved more in the offense. And, you being a big target like yourself, 6'5", not only putting your hands in the dirt and being a blocking tight end, but being involved in the passing aspect. So now you get a chance to show people, like I said, you played basketball. You're very athletic. And most really good tight ends are two-sport guys. And you're one of those guys. Talk about how you feel about this offense and your involvement that you're excited to see from yourself this year.
Yeah, I think it was important for you to note, some of us, Tyler, myself, John Samuel, a couple of guys who were recruited here came in having not seen any utilization from the tight ends at Auburn. Obviously you had the GOAT Lutzenkirchen, you had CJ and some of those guys, but after that, it was more of an H-back, fullback role that they've kind of been used to. So we came in and just tried to flip the narrative. There's so many teams out there. You think of the great teams in college football, they're utilizing their tight ends. You think about the NFL, they're utilizing their tight ends. The number one target in the Super Bowl was Travis Kelce. Yeah. So you just think about those things, and I feel like we came in and tried to flip that narrative. And the past couple years, I know the past 2 years, we've gotten more utilization, steadily growing each and every year. And now that this new staff is in, this new offense that's in, like you said, it definitely gives us some more opportunities in the pass game. And my biggest thing is, as a room, I want us to relish that opportunity and grow in a pass catching role, but also don't forget that we're still going to be the most physical group on the field. And I think that's a big deal, because if not, you're just a glorified receiver.
Talk to us about your new position coach, Coach Ben. What's his coaching style like, and how's the room taking to him, and what things have you learned from him so far since he's been on the Plains?
Yeah, so I was extremely blessed. We all were to have Coach Bedell as our coach for a couple of years. I know a lot of you guys know that he was a fan favorite amongst the team and amongst people on the outside as well. So it was tough for us to come in and be accepting of a new coach. But as you're older and more experienced, you realize that that's just part of the business. And Coach Ben came in and immediately created relationships with us, which is extremely important. You can't come in and think you're going to tell a veteran group what to do without building a relationship. And I think he's done that very well. I would describe him more as a player's coach, in the sense that he's there for you off the field just as much as he is on the field. So I respect him. I respect his family and how he leads his family. So I'm excited because we've already learned a bunch, and footwork wise and a couple other different things, route wise, getting in and out of breaks. So I think he's got us going in the right direction.
Has he got you guys working on? I mean, Auburn ran a lot of 12 personnel last year.
Yeah.
And this year, what is your general feeling about the flow of tight ends in and out of the game? Do you feel like he's going to utilize two tight ends on the field at times in Hugh Freeze's offense?
Yeah, I do. I think that as a tight end in general, and especially our room with the depth that we have in the room, I feel like the tight end can be used kind of as a Swiss Army knife, and where if you want to replace a receiver with a tight end, you can. If you want that extra big body in there, you can. And we've got the room to be able to do that, to play not one, not two, not three, but maybe 4 or 5 tight ends a game. And you can do that. It's not like the quarterback position when you have one guy. So I think that'll be big. I think they will utilize multiple tight ends at a time. And I mean, that really depends on us as well as we do in practice. That's how much trust and responsibility we'll have in this offense.
Well, especially with the offensive line, you guys went out and got some guys in the transfer portal. That was some really good pickups. I'm talking about some really good pickups, and that will allow the quarterback a little bit more time to get through some of those progressions, which makes the tight end more valuable in the offense. But I look forward to seeing sometimes y'all in those 11 personnel, but still, 2 tight ends set, tight end on each side, because now I think it creates matchups with some linebackers or safeties. You're going to figure out, who can cover and who can't cover. And I think that's one thing that Coach Freeze and Coach Montgomery likes to do is find matchups. That's the reason Travis Kelce is a problem in the NFL. He's a matchup problem. A lot of people can't match up with him. But, just overall, though, when you think about the new offensive line that's been here, talk about what you see from those guys, because people don't realize tight ends and offensive linemen have to be cohesive together. They have to have continuity, because, y'all are making calls to one another as well. And a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, you've got to see yourself as a tight end. You have to see yourself as an honorary O-lineman. It's just, it is what it is. You're attached to the hip, literally and figuratively. You are. And so, having good communication, good relationships with those guys is huge. I think the guys that we brought in through the portal and a couple young guys coming in, I think we've done really, really well in that sense, because our offensive line, you can tell it looks different than it has in the past. Not to say anybody looks perfect, because none of us are, but you can tell that they're working. We've got some serious talent up front, which is big. In the SEC, you have to have big guys. You really do. It sounds like watered down or whatever, but you get some big boys, you're good. So it's a big man's game.
Luke, talk about strength and conditioning here for a second. This is one of my favorite topics. I love talking about strength and conditioning. You guys have a limited time to try to grow and change your bodies, between the end of the season and the beginning of spring practice, and then you have the summer workouts that you can do between the end of spring and the beginning of fall to try to get into whatever your playing weight is going to be for the year. How has strength and conditioning changed under this new staff? And are you feeling like guys are generally getting stronger and faster in this new strength and conditioning program?
Yeah, I think that was one of the things that helped me bridge the gap of change from last staff to this staff. I mean, the first encounters we had was with the strength staff coming in this winter. So that was kind of my first judgment of how this year and this team was going to be. And I can firmly say Coach Dom and his staff have been incredible. I've seen some serious strength gains with myself, with my teammates, and just a different type of training. You got the speed training, you got the strength training, but a lot of it is more football oriented, which we're football players. We're not Olympians. So that's important. And I think just different ways of strengthening your body without loading incredible amounts of weight. For instance, doing eccentric stuff and ISO holds and on squats and bench and pull-ups. And I tell you what, in about a year, you'll have everybody on the team be able to rack out as many pull-ups as you need because we're doing plenty of them.
Oh, wow.
So just a lot of posterior chain stuff going on. And I've really fallen in love with it. I could see myself doing that and staying in college, strength and conditioning whenever I'm done playing, which is whenever. If I'm blessed to play at the next level, I'd love to. But I've really enjoyed this staff. Coach Dom and his staff has built relationships with players, and like I said, I really enjoy what we do in there in terms of like building strength and speed.
Does the new facility aid you guys in that? I mean, you guys are in a beautiful facility.
Oh,
now,
absolutely. Yeah.
Right. And so you've got every, I think, equipment advantage as well. Talk about that change from the old to the new in terms of weightlifting.
Yeah, I mean, you always have a soft spot in your heart for the old facility, but this new facility is incredible. I mean, half the time I don't even really go home because everything I need is here. And strength and conditioning is the same way. I mean, when we're in the weight room, we've got everything we need in there, in the indoor, and it's state of the art. So also a little push. I mean, recruits, if recruits are looking for anything to give you an advantage at the next level, you can't lie. Facilities are definitely a piece of it. So we're blessed and we're honored for people to have given to allow us to have something like this, because it's incredible.
Well, you talk about that lounge room you guys have,
Oh, yeah.
like I know you had a locker room, but then you got the lounge room. And I guarantee you that a lot of guys hang in that lounge room because y'all have a big movie theater screen in there as well.
Yep.
So you can watch games. Talk about what goes on in that lounge room, man. Like, and you have a barbershop, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yeah. So I've seen a couple of people bring a couple of their friends in and on the team, and everybody's getting barber cuts in there. And but yeah, in the lounge room, just for instance, right now with March Madness, I mean, we've got TVs everywhere. We got the big screen, so we're in there watching games. And some people who will remain nameless beat everybody in 2K on the team. Even though I'm an old man, I can still play on the sticks a little bit. So.
All right.
Yeah, so it helps build camaraderie, though, right? Like
Absolutely.
that cohesiveness of the team, because you're spending a lot more time together.
Yeah, well, and that's extremely important in this day and age, too, because of all the moving parts in college football. You got the transfer portal, and you got NIL, and you got all these different things going on. So building relationships and building camaraderie is a big deal, and we have it here. So
yeah, Jason makes a good point about just having a central place to chill.
Yeah,
in between classes, and when you have downtime, and then you get to be around the program. Are you finding maybe that you guys are maybe spending more time in your playbook, or just studying the game because you have this place that is essentially is literally adjacent to what you do from a football perspective every day?
Yeah, well, I think it's fair to say that it's as simple as walking upstairs or getting on the elevator. So Yeah, I think it's a very fair assessment to say that you could definitely be around the game more and around our offense more if you're over here, which people are. So,
yeah. Well, see, that's the good thing, Mike G. These guys have the new facility, but there's also a new trend now called NIL. That's kind of taking the platform in student athletes now. I know Luke didn't have that his first year at Auburn. So, Luke, you got a chance to see, life without NIL. Now you get a chance to see it as with NIL. So,
right.
Compare the two, what it was like before, but then now that you have NIL, what you see it do for you, or to see it do for your teammates, why is it so important? Just kind of let our subscribers and fans know.
Yeah, I think initially I had some reservations just because that's not what I was used to. I mean, I was used to what college football always was. But this is a different day and age, and when done the right way, NIL is extremely important. And helpful, especially for guys like me. I've got a wife, like we talked about, and I am currently paying a mortgage. I bought a house out in Opelika, Alabama.
Hey.
So On to Victory is helping me just maintain my family dynamic and grow my family to the best that I can and lead it the way that I can. So very grateful, very honored. And like I said, I started off with some reservations on the entire concept of it, but when done the right way, it's a blessing.
Yeah. What kind of support Luke are student athletes getting in terms of, from your perspective, in terms of managing NIL money and knowing what to do and staying focused on things that you guys have to do every single day to field a team in the fall, with all this NIL stuff happening around you?
Yeah, I think that's a big deal. And I think we're all trying to get separate deals on the side and other things that you can just try to grow your bank account with. However, just a collective like On to Victory, they handle a lot of the things that need to be handled, which is a blessing for student athletes because we have such busy schedules and we need to compete at a very high level. So just having those priorities mapped out, knowing what matters and what you have to get done as a man and in this is a job. So in your job, just knowing the priorities of that and having a collective like On to Victory just really helps manage everything. And that helps with time management as well and managing all of our different things that we have to do with that.
Yeah, time management is a challenge for every college student, right? When they get to college, let alone for student athletes where you have all these obligations. Do you find it easy to work around your academic and football responsibilities and still handle your NIL obligations? Are there enough hours in the day to do all this stuff?
Yeah, sometimes it can get hectic. Sometimes it can get overwhelming. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's your job. So if you're in the workforce, nobody's going to give you a pass on that if you just don't do your job. So you just got to prioritize things, manage your time wisely, and everything will work out.
Sound like a grown man there, Mike. Learning how to prioritize because that's true. It's true. Yeah. Like if people going to support you and give to NIL, then you have a responsibility. Because you have to do a requirement in order to receive funds. And then when it comes to football aspect, if you want to be a great player, you got to put that time, you got to put the work, you got to put the study. You can't just do things when coach tell you to do it. You got to be able to do things on your own time. So
no doubt.
All those things come hand in hand. I always tell guys, you can't have a 2-track mind. You can't want to be great at one thing and not great at other things. Like you have to want to be great at everything you do. So that way you're not playing a roller coaster within your mindset and you're not changing your mindset. So, Luke, like I said, we really appreciate you coming on. I got 5 quick questions I just want you to answer.
All right.
It's kind of rapid fire type deal. We used to ask a lot of the guys to come on. All right, Mr. Luke, let's go with the first one. First one, what made you choose Auburn?
Yeah, I think Auburn was just somewhere. It was kind of home away from home for me. I know it sounds cliche, but it's real. It's why I chose Auburn. It's why I'm still here and never planned on leaving. So, like I said, I ended up finding my wife and starting a family here. And that was pretty much because just Auburn's a special place with special people, and I knew that as a recruit, and I knew that it was different, even though it was further away than some of my other options. And teams that I loved whenever I was a kid growing up in South Carolina in a small town, it just felt like home, felt like family, and I really valued that.
All right. What is your favorite place to eat at in Auburn?
Wow. Put me on the spot here.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this is a good one.
Gotta choose carefully. This could be an NIL deal.
Yeah, no, I know. I feel like I'm kind of going with the mainstream, but Irritable Bow is incredible.
Irritable Bow?
Irritable Bow.
Irritable Bow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a play on words. It doesn't sound too appetizing, but
hey, give us a little feedback. What kind of food is it?
Yeah. It's some kind of Asian food, but they've got their own little twist on everything. It's really good. They're not open very many hours, but the line is usually all the way downtown just to get in.
Wow.
So right now they're doing like a March Madness tournament where all these different chefs are coming in from different restaurants and like competing against each other trying to make their food. So it's pretty cool.
Nice. That's what's up. Okay. What is your favorite Auburn tradition and why?
Favorite Auburn tradition, man. I would probably say rolling tumors. I know it would be a lot of people's, but I got to experience it. Although I don't get to experience it very many times whenever we win big games, because I'm usually with my guys or with my family after a big win. And but I got to experience it my freshman year when we went to the Final Four, and that was just something that was really eye-opening to me, to be able to be a part of such a big tradition that's been going on for so long, and that the town is all on board with the cleanup and all that. I think there's only a few places that would have that kind of town and that kind of atmosphere. So that's a really special one for me.
All right, we got two more for you. What do you do to calm the butterflies before a big game?
Oh man, well, I usually I'll listen to some music, try to calm it down. I don't get as many butterflies anymore, but I vividly remember the first game and how sick I felt in my stomach stepping out on that field. I vividly remember it. But really, I listen to some music, and then I talk, I pray, and I lock in for a little bit and just get quiet in my own mind and know that there's a plan worked out for me that I can trust in, and just go out and be me and play.
Do guys get butterflies right before coach sends you into the game? Like, is that a thing?
I mean, if it's your first time, I could see that. There are some funny stories about that, of how some players have tripped onto the field and some other things, but I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. But yeah, I would say that. But as you play more, you get more and more used to it, and thrive in the moment a little more.
Yeah, I would say most of the time your butterflies kind of be gone, Mike G, by the time you get to the locker room after Tiger Walk.
Okay.
But leading up to Tiger Walk, you're thinking about so many things during your mind, so many plays, making sure you cover everything. So you have a little bit of butterflies because the anxiety to want to do well. I think that's what gives guys butterflies, is they want to be great. They want to play a great game. And that's what it is, more so than it is the opponent. It's just you want to just do it at a high level. Last one for you before I let you go. And I see if Mike got one more for you. What is your favorite food to eat at night before a big competition?
Okay, so I always carb up before a big competition. I have to. I'll put pasta, spaghetti, whatever it is at the hotel. I load up, and if you've ever interviewed John Samuel about this, we're opposite. John Samuel's the lean, clean freak that likes to eat a salad the night before a game, but I'm loading up some carbs.
That's what's up.
Luke, pregame rituals. This is all really good stuff. You talk about guys tripping onto the field. Auburn is a special place, right? And trying to describe to people what the family aspect of it is like. I tell people all the time, whenever I travel, I always wear something that says Auburn, because there is nothing like getting a War Eagle at the airport.
No doubt.
Recently, you went through something, not a lot of people go through it. Unfortunately, it's happening in life. Your dad had ALS, very publicly. And, it felt like, from my aspect, you got a lot of just love and support from your Auburn family.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what it was like having the Auburn family behind you during that time for your family?
Yeah, man. I mean, you talk about getting a War Eagle in the airport, and that was one of my dad's favorite things about traveling. He'd always wear an Auburn shirt and just wait for somebody to say it back to him. So, it was a tough time last year, but to have my teammates and a fan base just rally around me and show the support that they did, again, that's another reason why I've never thought about leaving, and why this is home for me and home for my family. It was incredible, man. Just to see the love and the care that people have around here for someone that they don't even know, and that was incredible for me. I know my dad valued it a lot, and he just took it to heart, and he fought the good fight, finished the race, and kept the faith. And that is what I want to try to do with my life. I want to impact people the way that he did, and give back to some of those people who gave to me and served me and believed in me.
Well, Luke, I tell you what, man, that's an awesome way to end the show. Giving a great life story. Like I said, subscribers, this is why what you do is important for our student athletes, because of things like this. A lot of people don't know about. You guys have to go to class. You got to participate in your sport. You also have to, be places all the time. You're pulled on, you're tugged on, and, you don't always have the opportunity to give. The most important thing that you can have in this world is time. That's something that's a gift, that's just a gift that we get from God. So, we thank you for your time participating here on the On to Victory podcast. Before we let you go, can you just tell the subscribers and the fans what to expect from you guys in the 2023 season?
Yeah, man. I mean, we're excited. We're ready
12
to go.
12-0, right?
What'd you say?
12-0, right?
Yeah, 12-0, exactly. That's what we're expecting. That's what we're aiming for. We're not going to set the bar low, because we've got some serious talent. We got some serious players on this team, and guys who are hungry and ready to win. So you guys keep showing up like you always have, and always will, because Auburn's different, and we want to play into that this year and really get after it this year, and win as many football games as they have out there, and see you guys at the very end.
I appreciate it, Luke. Thanks, Luke, for coming on. Mike G, what a great episode today, man. We had 3 great people on here today, and the one thing they all talked about too was serving each other.
Exactly.
Luke talked about supporting your teammates and everything. Coach Latt talked about serving one another, and Coach Lilley talked about the same. And that's the one thing about Auburn. You serve each other and support each other. So, Luke, thank you for all you do. That's the On the Victory podcast for today. Everybody, we thank you for your support. We thank you for your gratitude. We thank you for all that you do. Mike G, thank you for your time today as well.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you on the next episode. Stay tuned to who our next guest is going to be. Appreciate it. War Eagle.
War Eagle.
War Eagle, this is John Cohen, and I fully endorse On to Victory and its mission to support our student athletes. Let's all do our part and join On to Victory today. War Eagle.